What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another rendition of Truth Be Told. I'm your boy Thomas, bringing you another video this week. A little late on the video this week, just because it's, you know, the holidays or whatever, so forgive me for that. But anyways, there's just a few things I'm going to talk about. Nothing political, though, on this round. Not really, anyway. First thing I want to talk to you about is I just binge watched the new Netflix show called The Witcher. Now, I tried to look up some information about The Witcher, and I couldn't find a whole lot about it, except for, you know, mainly they were a series of books and some video games done on it. Now, I knew about the video games. I didn't know about the books until the show was getting ready to be released, when they announced they were doing a show about it. I never read any of the books or anything like that, so I don't know if they changed a whole lot of the characters or anything like that. You know, swapped out males for females or some crap like that. But I went ahead and sat down and binge watched the show because I like Henry Cavill. You know, he's a great actor. And I loved him as Superman. He played an excellent Superman. So I went ahead and watched the show, binge watched the show. There are only 8 episodes. There's a lot I liked about the show. The show shows you what you can do when you actually put quite a bit of magic into the show. Unlike Game of Thrones, where they hardly do any magic whatsoever. Which is okay, except for it was always like the Game of Thrones, they teased you with the magic, and then for like a 5-second scene of magic, and then it'd go on to them just backstabbing each other in the back. It was just so full of drama, and I can't stand that show that's just so over dramatized. And Game of Thrones was really like that. It was just over the top on drama, and it just drove me up the wall because I can't stand that crap. But anyways, very little magic in Game of Thrones as compared to this. They actually do quite a bit of magic, which I like. However, The Witcher only does a couple of magical things throughout the first season. I don't think you get to see his full potential with magic in the first season. Maybe a couple scenes, you know, he does a couple magical things, but nothing major. So that's the good thing about the show. And the acting's really good. The acting's not bad, except for the Queen. The Queen, I don't know what her name is, but she wasn't good, a good actress. But the rest of them were great. And the reason why I say that is because the woman who's playing the Queen, she tried to make it off like she's this super badass chick, you know, and it was just retarded, because she definitely was no badass chick. It just came off as her pretending to be some badass chick when you know she's not. That's how it came off. So that was a really bad choice for the Queen. The show was a bit confusing at first. I really didn't understand what was going on. I mean, not so much as the fact that I didn't understand the Witcher world. I just couldn't get to what was going on for the first few episodes or so. It made it really difficult because you're watching The Witcher in the past, leading up to where they want to end in the series. The princess, the little girl he's supposed to be after or searching for, you see everything from her perspective in the future. So, and it continuously swaps back and forth, mainly between the princess and the Witcher. So you get confused at first because the show don't tell you, hey, you know, this is the past with the Witcher, and then this is the future with the princess. It doesn't let you know that. So you're really confused at first at what's going on. And then in between that, they throw the story about Yvette, or whatever the character's name is, the Mad Witch. You know, she's out there. She's loonier than a jaybird. Anyways, so that kind of threw me off. I really don't care for shows that do that to the audience. They don't let them know, you know, hey, you know, this is the past and this is the future. We're just going to throw it out there and jumble it all together, and you have to try to sort it out on your own. Anyways, that was only one complaint I have. I have two others. There's this scene where the Mad Witch, Yvette or whatever, she's burying this baby that she couldn't save from an assassin or something. And then she just goes into this spiel about how men have mistreated her. She hates all men. They're just, all men deserve to die, blah, blah, blah. She's your typical feminist, flat out. And she just having this pity party about how she's been mistreated by men and oppressed, and, you know, she can't do anything, and men are holding her back, and blah, 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 blah. When that's not the case at all. She literally chose the lifestyle she chose. Men didn't make her do jack crap. It was her. If you watch her entire story from the beginning, you know, she did it all. It was her choices that led her up to where she was at. And she's doing all this because she can't have a baby. But that was her choice. She made that decision. She chose power and beauty over being able to have a baby. So it was her own fault. But she makes it sound like it's all men's fault. Blah, blah, blah. So that whole speech, I don't know if that's in the book or not. Maybe someone can tell me down in the comments below if you know anything about The Witcher, because that literally sounds like it was put into the show by some typical feminist writer, or, you know, wrote the screenplay or whatever. And then the second part that really got on my nerves, this one really was just retarded, absolutely ridiculous. There's a scene where the queen's daughter is trying to get married to some knight who's been cursed. And she goes into this whole big spiel about how women should rule the earth because men suck and all men are retarded and idiots. She's just bashing men left and right, talking about how women have been shit on time and time again throughout the centuries, and you know there was no equality and other women need to stand up and teach men how to do it right and blah blah. It was very, very feminist speech. Again, I don't know if this character is supposed to be in the show or not, if it's actually supposed to be a woman or whatever, but you could tell that whole speech was literally written, definitely written by a feminist. Honestly, you just gotta leave the evil religious cult of feminism out of movies. You gotta stop doing that. Hollywood has not learned its lesson that people don't care about that crap. It's retarded. They all know it's full of lies. It's just a brainwashing technique by an evil religious cult, sadistic cult. So anyways, those were my major complaints. The rest of the show is great. I mean, it's an awesome show. I love the show, except for those two main scenes. Other than that, the show's great. They need to get rid of the whole bitchy, feminist behavior behind the Yvette character, the Mad Witch character, or whatever. I think she's a total loon bird. Anyway, other than that, the show's great. It's awesome. Check it out. You might like it if you like magic in your shows, rather than everyone just stabbing each other in the back to see who can come out on top. Moving on. Next thing I want to talk to you about is I just got done playing a game called Future Cop LAPD. It's a PS1 classic. If you ever seen RoboCop or Star Wars, there's a vehicle in the game. You're a cop and you're inside this vehicle that's pretty much like a land walker. Like a bipedal land walker, similar to the one on Star Wars, and similar to the robotic machines that RoboCop's gotta destroy in the first two movies. But yeah, you're in a walker and you're going around, and it's a pretty fun game. You're just going around. You're basically going to criminal hideouts, and you're blowing crap up, and shooting criminals, and all that good stuff. The main story mode is you do that pretty much throughout the main story mode, and you get upgrades the further along you get in levels. It also has another section called like the assault game or whatever. Basically you go against the computer or AI, and you have like a capture the flag type thing where you got one side and the computer's got the other side. You go by colors. You're like red or blue, and then the AI is red or blue, and you go through trying to capture each other's torrents and other parts of their base, and turn them to yours, and you try to get them all done before the other player gets all yours, vice versa. So it's a pretty fun game. It's not bad if you like shoot 'em ups, you know. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's a pretty good game. The next one I want to talk to you about is another PS classic, and it's called Lodi. Now this is a top-down game where you're looking from the top, looking down. And it's basically a shooter game. You gotta go through. It's pretty dark and gritty. It's kind of like a nightmare horror type game with some action in it. Basically, you have like 6 players to choose from or something like that. And you got, each one has a special ability or whatever, and a special type of gun. Most people choose the pirate looking dude, because he's basically got the best weapons. But each character is some kind of they're mentally disturbed. Like one guy, he's wearing, he's kind of like a drag queen. He's going around shooting people with heels and a dress on. But each of them has some type of mental disability, or they're psychotic, they're nuts. And they're trying to escape this prison because the warden's he's even nuttier, and he's trying to make a game out of this escape. If you escape, you get your freedom or whatever, blah blah blah, so he just makes it really hard for him to try to escape. So you gotta go through the prison trying to get out. It's a pretty good game. It's a good shoot 'em up game. It'll if you want to, kill some time, it's pretty fun for the most part. Go ahead and check it out. You might like it. I did. I thought it was really good. Now, there's also a sequel to Loaded called Reloaded, and I intend to check it out eventually too. So that's all I have to say on that. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, YouTube. All you B-movie holics, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. It's Action Week again. We're back to doing action flicks. I started the Death Wish series, so I'm trying to finish it off. I got one more to go for that. But for this round, we're doing Death Wish 3 and Death Wish 4. The first one, Death Wish 3, it was done in 1985. It made about $17 million at the box office, so it actually didn't do too bad for back then. Of course, it stars Charles Bronson. The leading lady is Deborah Raffin. She wasn't really all that big. However, the cop that's in this one, his name is Ed Lauder. You might recognize him from a few other movies. I recognized him. I didn't. He's not one of those like well-known names, but he's got a recognizable face. You recognize who he is from other stuff. Then the bad guy is Gavin O'Hurley. Now, it might take a minute for you to recognize him, but if you've ever seen Willow, which most people have, he plays Eric, the one that Mad Mardigan's trying to help, his friend or whatever. That's who that is. And then last but not least, again, these movies kind of surprised me with bad guys. It had Alex Winter in it. You probably know him from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bill Preston Esquire, you know. Alex Winter was in this. It was kind of surprising. Death Wish 3 was basically, he wanted to come visit a friend of his. He was coming to visit a friend of his from LA. And just before he shows up, his friend gets killed in his apartment, mugged and then killed. Police give him crap because they know who he is and tell him he better stay low. But of course, you know, he doesn't. The cop, he strikes a deal with him and tells him to do his thing, and then he'll back him up on whatever he does and help him out as much as he can. Because they're having such a problem with crime, and he's hoping that the vigilante will help stop the crime from rising, the crime rate from rising. Gavin O'Leary, he's ahead of this on a retarded looking gang that puts stripes on their heads and foreheads or whatever. And he's got the dumbest fucking haircut. He's got to, it's like an inverted mohawk. He shaves the middle of his head right down the center, and it, you know, puts two stripes down it. But he's got the rest of his hair. It just looks dumb. Anyway, I don't know what they were trying to do, if they were trying to create a new style look or whatever, but it definitely didn't work. Anyway, him and Alex Winter are part of this gang that's pretty much terrorizing the neighborhood. The cops hardly go in there because they know they're probably going to get killed if they go in there and try to stop them. So Charles Bronson, he basically goes after this gang. This is like a neighborhood that used to be really good. It has a bunch of old folks in it. Your older people in it. But it's since been run down, and the older people have nowhere else to go. So Charles Bronson basically helps him out while he's trying to find out who killed his friend. He finds out that Alex Winter and a couple other guys killed his friend. So he starts taking out the gang one by one. The gang leader already has beef with Charles Bronson. He met him in a jail cell. He doesn't like him, and the feeling's mutual with Charles Bronson. He plans to determine to take him down. And of course, there's this big shootout or fight scene at towards the end of the movie where everybody is just blowing each other away in the neighborhood. You know, you got all the citizens shooting at the gangs, and the gangs are shooting at them, and it's just chaotic. Like, that would literally happen, you know, like they would get away with that kind of crap because it's in New York, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, Charles Bronson's busting out like an M60 and like shooting everybody with his big ass gun. It's crazy. Anyways, it was a good action flick. It was alright. It wasn't bad. I say go ahead and watch it. It was a good time killer. I give it 2 thumbs up. It was alright. It wasn't bad. Um, then we move on to Death Wish 4. This was done in 1987. It only made about $7 million at the box office. It went down for some reason. I think everybody thought the third one was a bit cheesy, so they really didn't go to see this one that much. Now, of course, it stars Charles Bronson, and the main actress in this one is Kay Lenz. I'm pretty sure you'll recognize her. She's in a lot of stuff. And she was a looker back then too. So, but anyways, in the fourth one, she plays his girlfriend. By the way, in this one, she's a reporter. Someone she knows gets killed by some muggers or whatever. Charles Bronson is basically still being a vigilante, and it starts right off the bat at him killing 3 guys for trying to rape some woman. But this guy comes to him, tells him he knows who he is, and that he wants him to work for him, to go after a drug lord, because his girlfriend's daughter is the person that got killed. She OD'd on some drugs that some drug dealer gave to her. The drug dealer also kills the boyfriend of the daughter, which Charles Bronson witnesses. And Charles Bronson ends up killing the drug dealer. Well, then he gets this guy saying, I know who you are, you're the vigilante, I want you to work for me, I want you to go after the main source of the drugs, which is, you know, the drug supplier, the main drug dealer. Apparently there's 2 of them. There's some brothers who run one half of the city, and then this other guy, some Italian dude, he runs the other half. And there's like a truce between them, but Charles Bronson goes in there and, you know, starts a gang war, and they basically start shooting each other and killing each other. He eventually wipes them out, but come to find out, the guy who he was working for only hired him to kill these guys so he could take over the drug industry and own the whole city, both territories. And then he goes after his girlfriend. Charles Bronson kills all of them, and then the guy kills his girlfriend, which pisses Charles Bronson off, so he ends up killing the main guy too. And then he just walks away. You know, there's a cop in this too, but he's not in there very much. His partner gets killed by Charles Bronson because his partner was working for the Italian drug dealer dude, and he tried to send him to kill Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson kills him instead. The cop thinks he's lying about his partner being dirty, so he tries to kill him. But he shows up towards the end. He realizes Charles Bronson was right, blah, 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 and he lets him go, just walk away. And that's the end of the movie. So, it was okay. It wasn't bad. Again, it's another time killer. It wasn't the best of the series, but it was okay. It wasn't as cheesy as the third one. but I don't know. It felt a little off. Not so much a Death Wish movie to me, or what the story usually contains, but it was a good movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. Check it out. Not bad. As before, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, a gem I might have missed, please leave it down in the comments below. Let me know, and I'll get around to watching it and reviewing it as soon as possible. So until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.